Welcome to Here Comes the Boom, a Kentucky recruiting podcast brought to you by KSR and KSR Plus. We've got a lot to talk about today with 2026 and 2027 recruiting heating up. But first, we need to talk about Kentucky's latest transfer addition, Reece Potter, a 7'1" center from Miami of Ohio. He announced his commitment on Monday, and it may be the last pickup for Kentucky, rounding out this 2025-2026 roster. So let's talk about what it means for Kentucky. Like I said, he's a 7'1" center, spent the last 2 years at Miami of Ohio, but he has some Kentucky connections. He grew up in Lexington, and Kentucky really played this recruitment pretty quietly. Cody Feger reached out about a month ago and made initial contact, and Potter actually got on campus last week before his commitment to have a meeting with the whole staff, talk to Mark Pope and the rest of the coaches there. I wrote up a story. Coach Pope asked him if he wanted a tour of campus, and being the Lexington kid that he is, he said, I could give you guys a tour of campus. I don't really need one. So he wound up committing on Monday, and you can go over to KSR Plus. You can see our interview with him. We talked to him about what it means to commit to Kentucky, who he knows on this year's roster. Being a Lexington kid, he knows Trent Noah, he knows Malachi Moreno. So he's already got some connections there, and he can be a nice insurance piece for Kentucky as Jaden Quaintance works his way back from injury. And then you got Malachi Moreno, freshman, who may need some time to get ready for the college level. But you've already got Brandon Garrison there, so the front court should be set. They're pretty loaded in the front court. Back court's looking great. And now they can really shift their focus towards 2026 recruiting. And let's talk about that, because they've got some new names on their radar now. Two new names popping up are Christian Gibson and Tony Bryant. Let's talk about Bryant first. 5-star forward out of North Tampa Christian Academy, 6'9". He's had a lot of schools on him throughout this whole recruiting process, but Kentucky's interest is a little new. Alvin Brooks was in to see him. Still no word on if he's setting a visit there or even if he has an offer yet, but Kentucky's starting to get involved in his recruitment, and he'll be one to watch moving forward. And then you got Christian Gibson, 6'4" shooting guard out of Texas. Coach Mikhail McLean was in to see him. He had some really positive comments about Kentucky when we talked to him over at KSR Plus. You can go find that interview. But he's a new name to watch, 6'4" shooting guard, a 4-star in the 2026 class. Then let's talk about a new offer. You got Christian Collins, a small forward out of California, plays at St. John Bosco. We talked to his mother. We talked to his high school coach. They all had great things to say about him. He's been one that Kentucky's been after for a long time, but they finally just offered when they were in to see him recently. I think that was Coach Jason Hart that was in to see him. And talking to his mother, they're looking at potentially taking a visit as soon as June or maybe after the summer period. It'll just depend on where they can fit in visits, but Kentucky will definitely be getting a visit. He also added a Duke offer. He's going to have basically everyone in the country going after him. So it's good to see Kentucky getting positioned, having that relationship for over a year. Now let's talk about a couple new names that you may be hearing about more. Billy White and Austin Gooseby, both Texas guys. Billy White, Kentucky's been after him for a little bit, but they were in to see him this past week, and they're ramping things up with him. And Austin Gooseby, the same thing. He's been on Kentucky's radar since basically the staff was put together in April of 2024, but they've started to ramp things up. Alvin Brooks, with his Texas connections, are leading the way there. Brooks was in to see him, I believe that was last week, a couple weeks ago, sometime around there. Now let's talk about a new 2027 name that's popped up. Marcus Spears Jr., 6'7" small forward out of Texas. Alvin Brooks was in to see him, seeing him and his teammate Ryan Hampton, who we've talked about before, 6'5" shooting guard out of Texas. Spears, the son of former NFL player, Marcus Spears Sr., of course. Spears' mother also played in the WNBA, I believe. So he's got a lot of family ties, a lot of his family have played professionally, and he could be a name that is in the NBA draft in 2028. So it's a long ways away, but he's a 5-star guy, maybe 4-star because 2027 they haven't really updated. Only a few guys are 5-stars in that class, but when more guys become 5-stars, expect to see him there. I believe he's in the 15 to 20 range as far as the rankings right now, but really athletic, really strong, small forward. And we talked to him over on KSR Plus. So go find that interview. Ryan Hampton, his high school teammate. So Alvin Brooks was in to see both of them at Dynamic Prep. Hampton, younger brother of RJ Hampton, who Kentucky recruited out of high school. So the family has known Coach Brooks basically since he was a kid. So Alvin Brooks recruited his brother at Baylor, and they've maintained that connection. So Kentucky's well positioned there in the 2027 class. Now let's go and talk about our sponsor, FanStake. Be sure to go to fanstake.com, stake your favorite players, who you want Kentucky to land in the 2026 class, in the 2027 class, or maybe there's a transfer out there that you still want. Go ahead and stake them. That's all we have for today. Thank you for joining us. Be sure to go and subscribe to KSR's YouTube channel. Go subscribe to KSR Plus, and we'll see you again soon.